Both of you could take it. Has it really sunk in that it's not just Final Four, but you're 2 wins from a national championship? How do you approach that in practice this week?
I think it's sunk in that we're going to the Final Four, and I think it will be even more so when we get down there. That's why we're leaving tomorrow and going to enjoy it and have definitely Friday to get back to our routine and really focus on the task that evening. But just as the team has done all year, every game matters. Every game is important, and that's how we face it. And, they're excited, which is what we want as coaches, and to build that confidence going into Friday that, hey, we've earned this right and deserve to be here, and we're going to give our best shot.
Yeah, like Shelley said, we've done a great job all season, taking each game at a time and doing your job in that moment has gotten us the results and gotten us to where we are now. So definitely don't change that going into Stanford. All focus is on Stanford, and then we get the result then we focus on the next game. It's not we have 2 games left because really we only have 1 game left guaranteed. So just focusing on the task at hand and Stanford's next.
Coach and Savannah, a lot has been said about the youth of this team. Is it kind of good that they're kind of just, they're freshmen, they don't know any better? Is it good that, they're just, roll the ball out and play, they're not worried about the rankings or the fact that it is a Final Four?
I think that has been an advantage and a disadvantage this season. At times we've seen very nervous freshmen, and we've had to get through those times. And I'm really proud of how they've responded, how they've taken the advice from the upperclassmen and run with it. And they know how important they are to this team, and they want to play their best for the seniors and the program. And so they've responded very well. But I think they do know, they understand how important it is, especially when they see how important it is to these upperclassmen especially. But they aren't overwhelmed, and they're not just scared, which I've been proud of how they've performed all year.
Hey, Coach, you still haven't let up a goal in this entire NCAA tournament, which is pretty remarkable. Yeah, knock on wood. What's been the key to that defense? And obviously you're going to have that same sort of defensive mentality against Stanford on Friday night.
Definitely. That's we talked to the team about this morning is, yes, we are very good defensively. We have been all year. And against this team, specifically, if you look at their statistics, they're just goal-scoring machines, and we have to be very disciplined. So to go in there, we know we have a team that will make it difficult for them to score. So that's, I think, a good matchup, and we just have to make sure we do the little things that we talk about all the time and don't dive and support each other. And we've done that over and over this season. We just have to make sure we continue to play and do that for 90 minutes against them, because they will hurt you if you give them a look.
Savannah, as a player, do you start to look ahead at what could lie ahead between Duke and UCLA, or is it all just Stanford and how to stop them?
It's definitely 100% Stanford. We can't get to the next game unless we get past Stanford, and it's going to be a hard game. It's going to be it's a battle between 2 great teams that have earned the right to be there. So we have to be 100% focused on Stanford, and that just like Duke and UCLA have to be 100% focused on that game. So really focusing on the task at hand, and then, obviously once that's done, then we can move on to the next, but we can't move on to the next unless we get a result against Stanford on Friday.
Shelley, how has the team looked this week in practice? Do you feel like you're in a good spot heading down to Orlando? And what's the schedule been like? Are you changing anything up as far as just practices, or same routine?
We've kept the routine so far, the best we can. We trained Sunday evening after playing Friday night, which is normal. Had Monday off where they focus on the academics and get into class, and then this morning we trained, and they did a good job. So tomorrow is when things change a little bit. We'll just leave earlier than normal for this trip. But the good thing is we'll train. We will enjoy, like I said, being down there, being in that environment. And then we'll have more time to focus as we get ready to train again Thursday and Friday morning.
This question's for both of you. I know you guys said you were inspired by the basketball teams this past spring. Have you guys talked to the players or coaches just about advice on how to handle the moment and what the situation will be like?
I mean, obviously, it's great to see South Carolina teams making it to the Final Four, and both basketball teams did a great job for their season. But we also have to focus on ourselves. Our program is completely different than basketball, so it's great to see that. I mean, obviously, props to them, and looking at them, it's like, okay, we can do it too. But at the same time, we have to really focus on ourselves and our culture and our mentality. And I think this team has done a fantastic job all year to embrace the moment. So when it comes to the Final Four, it's just like any other day. It's just any other game that we have to go out and do our job, and I think everyone's really prepared to do that.
Yeah, and I think the coaches, the department here have been so supportive. They're so excited for us, and I told Dawn that she inspired us for sure. Just like when she got here, she brought her team to watch us win the SEC championship. So it's neat to have that environment where you're surrounded by athletes that are achieving goals, and we just want to be that program that continues to make South Carolina proud, like those teams have before us.
Shelley, you'll be in Orlando with Disney and everything. I'm sure the Final Four will have a lot of outside activities. Mm-hmm. How easy is it to try to keep the team focused that there is going to be a match to be played and hopefully 2 matches to be played?
Well, it's never easy, but that's our job, and we rely a lot on Savannah and the other captains to help us with that message and lead. And I think they've all done such a good job all year. I think, you think about the end of the season where we had to go to Florida to win a championship. That was not an easy task, and they handled that extremely well. And so those kind of past experience that we've had, know that we're prepared to go into an environment like this and rid of the distractions. And we'll do our best on Friday to make sure it is a typical day on the road for us. So, friends and family will not be as accessible, and we'll have the meal. We go to the same place before games. I mean, there's a lot of things and routines that help you stay focused, and I know they'll be excited to get going.
Savannah, back here. You're from Chapin, so obviously this would be huge for your family, huge for the Gamecocks. But what about your friends and the town too, and Columbia?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to play right at home. I mean, I get tons of family and friends that are able to come to all the games, and just being able to really represent where I grew up and what I've known for my whole life has been really special for me. So, I mean, definitely I would love to go down to Orlando and beat Stanford on Friday and ultimately win a national championship. I think that'd be really cool to be from South Carolina and do that for this program. But it's just been a really special ride to be able to. I mean, my parents come to all the games, and just having that support system around me has been really cool.
Coach, Stanford, obviously, like you said, a very high-powered scoring offense, but the one loss this year is to a team you've faced a few times. How much do you look at that, how they played Florida, or is that really not really relevant to your experience?
We definitely use that as a, point that anyone can beat anybody, and they lost to an SEC team, so that's a positive for us for sure. But we also know that was early in the season, so like we said to the team too, it's Savannah knows several from the U23 national team, so. You take so many names and the name of Stanford, it doesn't matter on that day. It's the team that has to win, not individuals. So we know that our job is to be the best team. And in soccer, anyone can beat anybody any day, especially at this level, at this point in the season.
Coach, are you guys relatively healthy at this time? Any injuries or anything like that?
Outside of a few sicknesses, as far as like things that are going around on campus and so forth. So Stephanie Rose is our athletic trainer, and she's on top of it and getting us healthy, and she's a miracle worker, so we know we'll be good by Friday.
Coach, this is the first time this program has been this far, and obviously to some degree I can understand that the team, some of the players may be a little nervous. How do you get past that, especially going into your first national semifinal?
Well, I've always said as a coach, I wish I were a psychology major. I think that's probably the most important thing to address with a team, especially at this point in the season. And I think we do a lot with that, where it's just we're in a positive mindset. We're confident. We've put ourselves in this position, we leave the field with no regrets. And if you go out there scared to face somebody, then you're just shooting yourself. And I think we kind of have that idea is, all right, we're not going to lose the game because we have gotten in our own way. We're going to make sure we go out there, and if we're going to lose, we have put everything put our best foot forward. And if we do that, then we have a good chance to win a game. And that's what we want to do. We want to be proud of our performance when we leave the field, win or lose.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.
Thank y'all.